Hey guys, welcome again to Inspired Travelers, Adventures That Inspire. So today it's Saturday, and here's what I'm doing. I'm going to New York City. I'm going to be taking the train. I'm going to show you guys how all this works and what happens. And hey, you never know, I might meet some interesting people on the train on the way to the city. Once I get to the city, I will make my way through the Highline Park. I will also look for some. There are different hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots that most people don't know about that we can try to locate them in my visit of the city. And of course, whatever else comes up, I will throw it in. Depends on who I run into, conversations that I have, and if I end up with people with me, then you guys will be on this. The point of this is not just to explore and find hidden gems in the city and throughout the world. The point of this is really to go out and have an experience trigger feeling, an emotion, or teach us a lesson, or perhaps run into someone and have a very inspiring conversation with a person and learn something new about life. Because at the end of the day, I have another series called Everyday Masters, and the reason why I created that series is because you don't have to look for gurus online or all over the world. People all around us are there to teach us stuff. So we learn from our experiences, which is what this series is specifically about. We learn from people around us, and we learn from disappointment. We learn from things that we see, things that we hear. So, bottom line, the Inspired Traveler will take you on an amazing journey where we will learn from the trees, the roads, the trains, the buses, the people in the street, whatever it is, we will learn something from. And that's what I wanted to emphasize. Everything that is around us comes to us for a reason. And that reason is to teach us, to put us in a position where we can grow and we build our experiences. Anyway, I'll see you guys after this video is over, and to recap and to give you my thoughts on what happened.
Alright guys, so this is it. I'm at the Baldwin station right now, getting ready to board the train to Penn Station on my way to the Highline. So, see you guys soon. It was pretty interesting. At the Highline, I met a monk there, a Buddhist monk, but he wasn't meditating or anything. He was just looking for money. So I gave him $20, and I had a pretty interesting experience with a lady who was getting on the subway but did not have any money. She wanted to take the train. So she was there, and interestingly enough, a lot of people, what they do is they approach me thinking that I'm Hispanic and that I speak Spanish. So she approached me, she's like, oh, well, she needs to get in. Her Metro card doesn't work, which she didn't have a Metro card from what I understood, but she told me that it didn't work and that she needed help getting in. So I was like, okay, so you want me to pay for you? And she said, well, yeah, because I can't use mine. So I ended up giving her, she got a free ride out of it at the end of the day. Because she was nice enough to ask, and that is the thing. Sometimes you see people that are in need, people that have a problem, and a lot of us, we just turn a blind eye. We look the other way because we don't want to get involved. We feel like it's not our problem. But you know what? She needed help, and I helped her. And it felt great. That's the thing. When you actually help people, you feel awesome. You feel amazing at the end. So that was a pretty interesting experience. All right, guys. So I'm back from the city. I went on a little bit of an adventure. Went to the Highline Park. Went to Chelsea. Visited a few spots. It was quite interesting. So as I was saying, I don't know if the lighting wasn't the best and there was a little bit of noise. So what I experienced is at the Highline Park. Well, before I got to the Highline Park, I walked a lot, and that's one thing if you guys get out of this. That is, if you're going to the city and you plan on if you're going to the city, you got to be ready to walk. Unless you're driving. If you're not driving, you need to be ready to walk and get some walking shoes. Don't wear any fancy shoes. I saw some ladies there wearing high heels and they were walking in front of me, so they walked a lot. That must hurt. So if you're going to the city, that's the #1 tip. Always wear comfortable and walking shoes. Second of all, second experience I had once I got there is that I used to be, well, during the trip, I used to get confused as to where to go, and the city is very easy to navigate. People from Boston, this is for you. Boston, when I went there, it was the streets and the roads are all over the place, but in Manhattan, everything is numbered, you know, it's labeled. You know, if you're going to 8th Street and you're at 1st Street, obviously, you gotta keep going. Okay, you go in the direction where the numbers are going up. It's simple. Or 5th Avenue, you're at 5th Avenue, you need to get to 8th Avenue. Okay, 6, 7, and 8. It's easy to navigate, and I like that. It's a city that is also designed for pedestrians, if you guys, for those that don't know. Now, the experience, okay, because that's what this whole series is about. It's about the experiences, what I've learned, what the city, or, well, in this instance, the city, but what the travel, the trip, what I've gotten from it. What has it taught me? Well, what it has taught me is that #1, you need to be open and be willing to talk to people. There's a lot of people say that people in New York City are mean and they're very nasty. You can't really talk to them. They're always in a hurry. Well, maybe during the week when they're going to work and on Wall Street or somewhere downtown, they might be they might be dismissive, but people in Manhattan, to me, that's my experience, are the nicest people. You know, they are. You talk to them and they just they actually start a conversation with you, as long as you have an open. You look at like someone that's open and that's willing to talk to them. So that's the #1 thing. Never assume that people are not interested in talking to you. Just strike up a conversation. Start talking to them and see what happens. The next thing is that New York is one of the places that is most, I would say, open and, yeah, open would be the right word, to the gay community. I was walking in Chelsea today and I saw flags all over the place and t-shirts, and it's very open, and I like that about it. It's very inclusive, you know. I love that sense of how could I say that, community that exists between people in New York City. I thought that was really awesome. Now the next thing, when I got to the Highline is beautiful. I have some pictures which I will show in a slideshow at the end. The Highline is gorgeous. For those who don't know, the Highline is an old railroad track that used to run in between the buildings. It's elevated, obviously, and what they did, once the railroad track was shut down, they turned it into a park. They have trees, they have food vendors, they have plants, places for people to just go sit, lay down and sunbathe all day long. Various viewpoints, places you can actually look at the different buildings in the city from, and it's really cool. It's rather long, especially if you don't bring walking shoes like me here. It's one of the things that I learned from that. also you will meet all sorts of people there, and the people over there are very open. You know, I don't know if it's the energy that I have nowadays, or my confidence, or the fact that I expect people to react to me positively. I see, well, I like striking up. I spoke to this guy that was walking by about a yoga class that we were looking at in a building. And but there was this other girl. She's sitting there all by herself. I went, we talked, we at the end we actually even exchanged numbers, you know, and it was fun just being able to have conversations with people. And the interesting thing is that I had no expectations, no specific expectations. The only expectation I had really was that, hey, I'm gonna talk to this person. You know, I didn't need or want anything from her or from that other guy also that I saw afterwards. So that was another thing that you guys gotta keep in mind. Don't assume that people will be mean or nasty to you. Whether it's people in New York City, where if you're a guy, don't expect women to be mean to you. Especially a lot of guys think that if a girl is gorgeous, she's gonna be mean because she doesn't want to have anything to do with him. It's not true. The truth is that it's the energy that you project, and once you project that energy, number one, you will be attracted to people that are open. And second, and number two, you're going to make them open up to you and talk. You know, had I approached that girl with a you know, with something in the back of my mind where, okay, I gotta get this girl's number because she's gorgeous. Yes, she's very beautiful, has gorgeous blonde long hair, which is really cool. I like the color of her hair because it's not straight blonde. It's hard to explain. Bottom line, a lot of people would feel nervous, but to me, see, when you get nervous when you feel like you need to accomplish something and you have a fear that you're not going to be able to. I didn't care. I just wanted to talk to the person. You know, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, sit down and we talk. It was an easy conversation, and we were both very easy going about it, and that was it. So it was around a nice viewpoint. I have a picture of it where you see the cars in the that are driving a little bit lower than where I am. That's because it's an it's a crossing over a street, and then the cars are driving under it. And what they did is they built a wall with giant windows that you can look through and take pictures, of course. So that was pretty awesome. Next thing that was great about this experience at the Highline was this monk. Well, whether he's a monk or not, I don't know, but it was a beggar. So he walks up to me and he smiles, and obviously I smile back. So first he hands me this, and on the back of it it says, "Work smoothly, lifetime peace." Yeah, it's an amulet that he hands over to me. It's very shiny, gold, whatever. And then he tells you to write my name. I write my name in the book. Now look at the tricks. I mean, I get where he's coming from, and I don't mind helping. It doesn't matter. But the psychology was interesting. He hands this to me, and he tells me to write my name. Then he puts the bracelet on my wrist, right? And he tells me to write the country I'm from, USA. And he says, write world peace next to it. After I do that, but he covers the rest of the page, where when I'm writing my name, I don't know what's coming next. And he moves his finger a little bit. Then I say, okay, USA. Then he moves his finger a little bit. Then he says, okay, well, write world peace. After that, he moves his finger, and there's a donation box. And then he tells you, okay, put in there some donation amount of money that you're going to donate to me and my foundation or whatever. And it's interesting because that's a really cool strategy. Once you get to that point, see, once you get the person to do certain things, you got them. There's no way they're going with the flow. So psychologically, they're already following the flow, and then they'll be like, wait, whoa, no, I don't want to give the money. It's really tough. And he did it to someone else, and they went for it too. That was quite interesting. And the funny thing is that right above the name where he tells you to write, it says $20. It's supposed to be someone else give $20. And I saw other people, the majority of them, give him $20. It's like, wow, this guy, he has a really good strategy. So I thought that was pretty interesting. other experience I had besides that monk was on the train. That was the Long Island Railroad on the way back. This family, they seemed to be Muslim. The girl was wearing the hijab, and the guy had I forgot what the hat is called. Anyway, they walk in, and it looks like they're traveling, and they're traveling heavy because they have bags and bags, and they have kids with them. But they're walking in, and it's interesting because the reactions were mixed. Some people, I noticed their faces, they were looking at them like, whoa, what is this Muslim guy doing here? Is he gonna blow up the whole train? You know, you could tell from the expression on their faces that that's what it was. But yet there was a second group of people that were looking at it like, oh, that is so cool. You know, like you feel like there was compassion from them because they felt like, okay, these people are mistreated and labeled unfairly, you know, so those people felt bad for them. And then a third group of people just didn't care, saw them and looked away. So it goes to show you that there is such a wide variety of beliefs and people in New York that they see things very differently. So it's hard to say, okay, New York is this way or that way. It's like they say, it's a melting pot of everything that's out there. And so that was my experience today. It was quite interesting. I saw a lot of gay and queer and how can I say that? People from sexuality that is out of what we call the norm. So a lot of them, which shows that there is a level of freedom that exists in the city, which is truly awesome. I also saw you know, this guy who has an amazing strategy to get people to donate money to him, to give him money. I also saw those girls wearing really high heels in the city. It was unbelievable, walking that far. Well, I also saw people that were just sitting in the streets, you know, homeless people. Saw a few of them, and what I thought was interesting, what really stayed with me out of all this, the Muslim guy, the Buddhist guy, the gay people, the hot girls number I got, the thing that stayed with me was this lady, the Hispanic lady that walks up to me, and then she's like, she talks to me in Spanish, straight up. Doesn't ask, do you speak Spanish or anything. She just walks up to me and starts talking to me, asking me if I can help her get in, because she needed to swipe the Metro card to get in, obviously. And she didn't have any money, and I had a Metro card. I haven't have one that had money left on it. So I just swiped it and I let her in. And for some reason, it's interesting. For a lot of people, and perhaps for me as well, at a certain time, it would have been the highlight of the whole thing would have been the hot girl's phone number. But for me, it was being able to help that lady, because that is a reward. The reward is knowing that you go home having helped another human being. And a lot of times we're complaining about the way our life is without realizing that we have so much. So if we can take the time to stop, be grateful for what we have, number one, and second of all, help someone. By helping the person, that releases some sort of endorphin or chemical in your brain that makes you feel good. It just felt good after doing that. And I think it's very important to incorporate that in your life. You know, so that was my trip. I know it's a long monologue where I'm talking about my experience, but I'm gonna play some clips of the trip, and I will also show you guys some pictures at the end of this video. And please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course join me on the journey. Use hashtag #InspiredTraveler on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter to keep in touch and connect with me. Of course, follow Dream_Traveler, that her name is Nadezhda, who is my friend, and together we are putting together this whole Inspired Traveler program where she's traveling all of Southeast Asia, I'm traveling the Americas, and very soon we're coming together to bring you guys some really awesome experiences and videos. So today it was about the city. Next Sunday, next Saturday, I'm getting my days confused here. It's going to be about Coney Island. I'm going to Coney Island, get on a few rides, and few thrilling rides. It's not going to be as crazy as skydiving, but it's going to be fun. So I'll bring that to you guys. I'll have some video clips, some photos, and of course I'll let you guys know what I experienced from going to Coney Island. I'll see you guys next Saturday, and remember, life is awesome. Only you can take advantage of it. So go out there and become an inspired traveler.